Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Hare Krishna. Today we will be looking at studying the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 4, Verse 15. And as most of you here on the call know, we understand today is Srila Prabhupada's disappearance day. So November 14th, 1977, Srila Prabhupada left his body in the Krishna Balaram temple in Vrindavan. So we will be connecting today's verse and exploring some aspects of Srila Prabhupada and our fortunate position that we find ourselves in as students of his today. And I'm the only one in the temple here, aside from the pujaris doing their service, taking care of Radha Sharad Vihari. So just show you here, making nice offerings for the deities, which today there will be a program, just real quick, from 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock in the temple today for Srila Prabhupada's disappearance. And okay, so we'll start by chanting this verse, and I'll give the devotees online an opportunity to chant it. Because as I said, there's no one, it's just myself. Yat kirtanam, yat smaranam, yad ikshanam, yad vandanam, yak charvanam, yad arhanam, lokasya sadyo vidhunoti kalmasam, tasmai subhadrasravasenam namo namaha. Yat kirtanam, yat smaranam, yad ikshanam, yad vandanam, yak charvanam, yad arhanam, lokasya sadyo vidhunoti kalmasam, tasmai subhadrasravase namo namaha. Yat kirtanam, yat smaranam, yad ikshanam, yad vandanam, yak charvanam, yad arhanam, lokasya sadyo vidhunoti kalmasam, tasmai subhadrasravase namo namaha. Hare Krishna, would anyone like to chant the verse online?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Yat kirtanam, yat smaranam, yad ikshanam, yad vandanam, yat shravanam, yad harhanam, lokasya sadyo vidunoti kalmasham, tasmai subhadra shravase namo namaha. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Yat kirtanam, yat smaranam, yad ikshanam, yad vandanam, yad shravanam, yad arhanam, lokakshaya sadyo vidhunoti kalmasham, tasmai subhadra shravase namo namaha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yat kirtanam, yat smaranam, yat ikshanam, yat vandanam, yat shravanam, यद् अर्हणम् लक्ष्याय श्रद्धया विदुनोति कल्मषम् तस्मै सुभद्रा श्रवसे नमो नमः। हरे कृष्ण।
Anyone else?
यत्कीर्तनं यत्स्मरणं यदीक्षणं यद्वन्दनं यच्छ्रवणं यदर्हणं लोकस्य सद्यो विदनोति कल्मषं तस्मै सुभद्रश्रवसे नमो नमः।
यत्कीर्तनं यत्स्मरणं यदीक्षणं यद्वन्दनं यच्छ्रवणं यदर्हणं लोकस्य सद्यो विदुनोति कल्मषं तस्मै सुभद्रश्रवसे नमो नमः।
हरे कृष्ण। यत्कारणं यत्स्मरणं यदीक्षणं यद्वन्दनं यक्ष्रावणं यदर्हणं लोकस्य सद्यो विदुनोति कल्मषं तस्मै सुभद्रा श्रवसे नमो नमः।
One more? Anyone? Okay. Synonyms. Yat, whose. Kirtanam, glorification. Yat, whose. Smaranam, remembrances. Yat, whose. Ikshanam, audience. Jat, whose. Vandanam, prayers. Yat, whose. Sravanam, hearing about. Yat, whose. Arhanam, worshiping. Lokasya, of all people. Sadya, forthwith. Vidhunoti, specifically cleanses. Kalmasam, effects of sin. Tasmai, unto him. Subhadra, all auspiciousness. Shravase, Shravas, one who is heard. Nama, my due obeisances. Nama, again and again. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the all-auspicious Lord Sri Krishna, about whom glorification, remembrances, audience, prayers, hearing, and worship can at once cleanse the effects of all sins of the performer. The sublime form of religious performances to free oneself from all reactions of sins is suggested herein by the greatest authority, Sri Shukadev Goswami. Kirtanam, or glorifying the Lord, can be performed in very many ways, such as remembering, visiting temples to see the deity, offering prayers in front of the Lord, and hearing recitations of glorification of the Lord mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita. Kirtanam can be performed both by singing the glories of the Lord in the accompaniment with melodious music and by recitation of scriptures like Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. The devotees need not be disappointed. One second. The devotees need not be disappointed in the physical absence of the Lord, though they may think of not being associated with him. I'm going to read that again because the devotees need not be disappointed in the physical absence of the Lord, though they may think of not being associated with him. The devotional process of chanting, hearing, remembering, etc., either all or some of them, or even one of them, can give us the desired result of associating with the Lord by discharging the transcendental loving service of the Lord in the above manner. Even the very sound of the holy name of Lord Krishna or Rama can at once surcharge the atmosphere spiritually. We must know definitely that the Lord is present wherever such pure transcendental service is performed. And thus, the performer of offenseless kirtanam has positive association with the Lord. Similarly, remembrance and prayers also can give us the desired result if they are properly done under expert guidance. One should not concoct forms of devotional service. One may worship the form of the Lord in a temple, or one may impersonally offer the Lord devotional prayers in a mosque or a church. One is sure to get free from the reactions of sins, provided one is very careful about not committing sins willingly in expectation of getting free from the reactions by worshiping in the temple or by offering prayers in the church. This mentality of committing sins willfully on the strength of devotional service is called Namo Bhalad Yasya Hi Papa Buddhi. And it is the greatest offense in the discharge of devotional service. Hearing, therefore, is essential in order to keep oneself strictly on guard against such pitfalls of sins. And in order to give special stress to the hearing process, the Goswami invokes all auspicious fortune in this matter. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshulun Militam Jaina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanyam Hanobhishtang Shtapitam Jaina Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadhamayang Dadhati Sva Pandantikam. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vid Kasha Swami iti namine. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami iti namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Prachaline Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I'll go back and read the verse one more time. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the all-auspicious Lord Shri Krishna, about whom glorification, remembrances, audience, prayers, hearing, and worship can at once cleanse the effects of all sins of the performer. This verse so perfect for today. Of course, all the verses in the Srimad Bhagavatam are perfect. The Srimad Bhagavatam is the ripened fruit of all Vedic knowledge, and the Vedic knowledge is the highest knowledge in all of the universe. So it is a fruit of is the best of the highest knowledge. But this verse today gives us such a perfect encapsulation of this paradoxically celebrated day of Srila Prabhupada's disappearance. Because Srila Prabhupada, in his mercy, in his unfathomable depths of mercy, came to the West to give us this process, to connect us with Krishna, so that we can, and these Western nations that are essentially soaking, dripping in just deeply sinful, contaminated consciousness, of the Western world, specifically in America. What Prabhupada came to give us was this Srimad Bhagavatam and this connection with Krishna to revive our true identity and actually find the happiness and bliss that we are seeking in this world, that in so many perverted, illusory attempts that the people of this world are trying to find happiness in the wrong place. So Srila Prabhupada came here to give us this true happiness, this reawakening, this revival of who we really are. And this purport is so instructive, and it is so non-sectarian. Krishna consciousness, what Srila Prabhupada gave us and what this verse is explaining is that by performing the processes of devotional service, the contamination that we are accruing from lifetimes after lifetime after lifetime after lifetime is being removed. The word in this verse that specifically refers to the contamination. So there's vidhunoti, which means the specifically cleanses, the kalmasham, which is the effects of the sin. So the kalmasam is the contamination. We have been performing activities since time immemorial that are increasing this contamination. And as this contamination increases, our sojourn in the material world increases. And the longer that this sojourn in the material world for the jiva continues, the longer we have to be in this cycle of suffering. It's an interesting kind of paradox. So many, Srila Prabhupada brought so many paradoxical ideas, and he himself was a paradoxical personality from the perspective of, from the perspective of the modern, let's say the Western mind. Prabhupada brought us so many concepts and ideas that were completely opposite and did not seem to line up with what we thought was the right way that we had speculated to live our life. And today, as we celebrate, you could say, it's not really a celebration. And, for many of it is actually a sad day for for all of us in the movement of Srila Prabhupada. On one sense, we see that Srila Prabhupada left our vision. I, as someone who was born after Srila Prabhupada left his body, didn't ever have the experience of personally interacting with him when he was here manifested on this planet. And in one sense, Srila Prabhupada has not disappeared from anyone's vision. As we can see, Srila Prabhupada is right here. And he's in his books and in his teachings, and we can all take advantage of those as much as we choose to. But from the perspective of those devotees who were actually fortunate enough to have personal association with Srila Prabhupada, today is a very somber day in the loss of the jewel of their life, is that association with Srila Prabhupada. So on one sense, we can consider it as a celebration in the sense that, well, let me say it like this. We have a tendency or a approach from our conditioned state to celebrate birth and to be sad at death. But we understand from the Srimad Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad Gita that actually birth, death are in the same category. So in our conditioned state, we think being born is good, being bad is dying, or sorry, being dying is bad. But it's in the same category because, as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, those who take birth are sure to die. So we have a kind of misconstrued conception of birth and death, one being good, one being bad. But actually, in actuality, when we understand from the Bhagavad Gita that really birth is in the same category as death, and if we think about it materially, either one should be celebrated. Really, we should be celebrating our birth into Krishna consciousness and our birth into actually coming out of this illusion of the material conception of life, so that when we leave this body, we can actually not have to come back into the cycle of birth and death and old age and disease, which is not looked at as a positive thing for the jiva. So Srila Prabhupada, he appeared in this world and he disappeared from this world. And in one sense, he didn't actually disappear from this world, but he left us the instructions that we need to perform the devotional service to make our connection with Krishna. And this purport has such wonderful directions. Essentially, we could practically take this purport and fashion ourselves, our own practice, and the whole Krishna consciousness movement around just this one purport. And I want to go through a little bit, because actually, like, these things that are being said in this purport are really, we can look at it just in the same way we can look at what is being said in this purport about the Lord, and we can put that in the same way that we look at Srila Prabhupada. So we may feel sad that Srila Prabhupada is not here with us, or that, there's an absence of Srila Prabhupada. But again, there's not really an absence, because as this purport says, the devotees need not be disappointed in the physical absence of the Lord, just like we need not be disappointed in the physical absence of Srila Prabhupada. Because when we think of Srila Prabhupada, and if we follow Srila Prabhupada's directions, which he gave us all of the directions, he spent the last 10 years of his life writing everything that we needed to know, and giving so many directions from a practical perspective on how we should conduct the Krishna consciousness movement in the modern world. There have been so many acharyas in the line throughout history. There have, but the only acharya that we really have access to understanding in the modern world how to approach life and how to approach our connection with Krishna is from Srila Prabhupada. So the importance of Srila Prabhupada's Vani, his messaging, is at the highest level in the literature and the approach that we take in Krishna consciousness in terms of where we learn. Srila Prabhupada is our direct access to Krishna. So what does he tell us? The devotional process of chanting, hearing, remembering, we don't have to do all of them, but even one of them can give us the desired result of associating with the Lord. And so it's the sound, as it says here, even the sound of the holy name of Krishna and Rama can at once surcharge the atmosphere spiritually. So what did Srila Prabhupada want those in the movement when he first came here? he was developing how all the different pieces were going to come together. But what did Srila Prabhupada do from the beginning? He went out and he saw this is a contaminated atmosphere. And what we need to do is purify this atmosphere. So the very sound of the holy name of Krishna and Rama. So they went out and he chanted, and he directed his devotees to go out and chant the holy name on the streets. To what? To purify the atmosphere, purifying, and then in turn, purifying the consciousness of those who are hearing it, willingly or unwillingly, so that they themselves could then start to have a bit of an opening into what they should be doing in relation to spiritual life. Because as Prabhupada says here in the purport, we must know definitely that the Lord is present wherever such pure transcendental service is performed, and thus the performer of offenseless kirtanam has positive association with the Lord. In the same way, this is how, even in the absence of Srila Prabhupada's physical form, this is how we have association, and can have association with Srila Prabhupada, by offenseless kirtanam, by the transcendental service of his movement. There's so many attempts in the movement, and things have been, since Srila Prabhupada left, the movement has had many challenges, and there's been many ideas of there's just been many things that devotees have attempted to do to follow in the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada. Some of them have worked and some of them haven't. And the future is very bright for the Krishna consciousness movement, because ultimately it has been prophesied by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Actually, also Bhaktivinoda Thakur made a prophecy that one devotee would go throughout the world and spread Krishna consciousness, and that was Srila Prabhupada. So in one sense, we can see that there's challenges in the movement and that we've had coming up after Srila Prabhupada left. But if we can sincerely follow the directions that we see in this purport and follow Srila Prabhupada as the founder, Acharya of this movement. What does it mean to be the founder Acharya? Like he is the one who's giving us, he's the doorway to Krishna. And it is not a complicated process for us. Sometimes we can see that actually we think that we need to follow the trends of the modern day world, of the, what's in fashion or what's in vogue, to try to attract people to Krishna consciousness. And there's some, you could say there's the conservative and the liberal approach to how it should be done. And but if we look at the lives of Srila Prabhupada and the Acharyas, even all the way back to Krishna, in many cases, they went against the trends of the modern day world that they were living in. And they were controversial in their messaging. Krishna consciousness, undoubtedly, the philosophy of Krishna consciousness is a attack on the materialistic way of life. And the materialistic way of life is got a chokehold on all of the jivas currently in this Kali Yuga world, that this earth planet, in this time frame of Kali Yuga. So we look back all the way to Krishna. Krishna had, who was in charge at the time of Krishna's birth? Kamsa. He was thinking, this person is bad. We have to try to kill this person. And eventually what happened? Krishna went against the authority of the land, Kamsa, to ultimately take him out and take the position of his rightful, put the rightful ruler in place. We could go all the way through, but Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the modern day gurus that kind of were the parent gurus of Srila Prabhupada. They directly went against those that were constraining Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement by presenting Sahajiya ideas. And smarta Brahmins who were holding on to their power, keeping everyone that wasn't in their club out of their true ability to make a connection with Krishna consciousness. Even the Narottam Das Thakur, Haridas Thakur, so many acharyas we can see, they went against the trends. And Srila Prabhupada also did that when he came to the United States. All of even the Indian gurus who came to the United States, they were preaching impersonalism, and they were preaching so many nonsense ideas about trying to match in with the modern society here to think that they can make an impact. But what happened with those, the majority, pretty much all of those types of gurus, is that they just blended in with everyone else. They just became another flavor of materialism. But Srila Prabhupada, in his wisdom and understanding, he came up against the trends and up against what was happening in America at that time: the Vietnam War, the hippie movement, free love, take drugs. Vietnam War was bad. And what did Srila Prabhupada do? He came in and he went against it completely. Don't take drugs. Don't have illicit sex. War is not necessarily bad. And he preached those things in the face of what was actually the common understanding, even of the people that were coming to him. He could have shifted his idea and said, let me act as if that Krishna consciousness doesn't, let's just, not tell them that they shouldn't take drugs, and let's let them take drugs. And then eventually they'll come around. Let's not talk about, not having illicit sex. Let's not talk about certain things. No, he right out of the gate said, this is how it needs to be. This is the process. And from there, the potency of the movement was so strong. And those who were the sincere, fortunate souls that actually had the mercy of Krishna and the mercy of Srila Prabhupada were able to connect with the true message that was being spoken. Right. So in that way, we also, in our movement today, I would think, or I can make the statement that we can also go against the trends of modern society. And we do not have to adhere and, connect with every new pattern of materialism that is being presented to try to induce people to Krishna consciousness, just as Srila Prabhupada did. Because as we understand, Srila Prabhupada, as I was mentioning, these paradoxes, he came and he, in the face of all of the things that everyone was saying, he did the opposite. And here, because ultimately, what is our mission? What is our mission is to Yasya Prasadad Bhagavat Prasado. Let me just, I just want to read this. Somehow I lost because I can't remember the. Okay, somehow my notes got lost, but all right. Our mission is to please the spiritual master, because by pleasing the spiritual master, we get the mercy of the spiritual master. Our spiritual master is Srila Prabhupada, and he's telling us exactly here what it is that we need to, how we can perform the devotional service. One thing I find very interesting in this verse, in this purport, is that this whole section here where similarly, remembrance and prayers also can give us the desired result if they are properly done under expert guidance. We are remembrance and prayers under expert guidance. Srila Prabhupada is our expert guidance. And one should not concoct forms of devotional service. This is such a powerful, simple statement. And we certainly, I know myself, especially before coming to Krishna consciousness, and many times, people who want to be spiritual or think that they're being spiritual, they concoct these ideas of how to make a connection with the Supreme or with God or with whatever spiritual kind of mumbo jumbo that they're coming up with. But here, Srila Prabhupada tells us we should not concoct forms of devotional service, and we should have guidance of an expert. So as he goes on, one may worship the form of the Lord in a temple, or one may impersonally offer the Lord devotional prayers in a mosque or a church. I mean, it's not like we have the monopoly on making a connection with the Lord. We're not saying that we are the only way. Prabhupada is not saying that I am the only way. Although what we can understand is that in this world that we live in, religion and spirituality is being utilized by rascals and cheaters to control and exploit people. And it is rare that we find expert guidance in the matter of spirituality and religion. And from Srila Prabhupada's life and Srila Prabhupada's example, it is unquestionable that he is an expert guide in the matter of making a connection with the Lord. People may criticize Srila Prabhupada due to their ignorance. And those who have any thoughtful approach to seeing the life of Srila Prabhupada and the mission and the message of what he brought to the world can see that he's an expert guide. So although we can go to the church or to the mosque and pray to an impersonal Lord, as Srila Prabhupada directs us here, those of us who have come to the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada, we should take advantage of this opportunity to get that expert guidance in the matter of reviving our true spiritual nature. And of course, we have to be aware and understand our tendency to commit sins willfully on the strength of devotional service, and that is a great offense. So we are habituated to sinning. We are habituating to taking and doing activities, and consciously and subconsciously performing activities that take us away from our highest self. And even though we are habituated to performing activities that are not necessarily, which you could call a sin. What is a sin? Actually, sin is the word sin is it's been used by these organized religious situations, these to control and dominate. If you sin, you will go to hell. And yes, this Srimad Bhagavatam does tell us that if we perform sinful activities, then there will be punishment in relation to those activities. We will have to take into account, ante up one day. Although it is not a eternal damnation, an eternal punishment that should be used to dominate us and control us, which is what many have experienced from the churches of this modern world. So the word sin has a lot of baggage. And one of the beautiful things about Srimad Bhagavatam and Krishna consciousness and what we can understand from the teachings of Srila Prabhupada is that although sinning is not something that we should continue to do or condone in our own lives, it is not something that disqualifies us from making the attempt, making progress. And as we see in this verse, that actually by glorification, so many different things, glorification, remembrance, audience, prayers, hearing, and worship, these contaminations can be cleansed. It is not, being pure is not a prerequisite to performing bhakti, to performing Krishna consciousness. Purification is the result of Krishna consciousness. This is how we can so in one sense, we should be very cautious to not be discouraged if we are not where exactly we feel like a pure devotee should be. And that by the process of the Prabhupada's direction and guidance and glorification and audience and prayers and hearing and worship, that we can cleanse and decontaminate ourselves to shed away all the layers that are constraining us from fully realizing the truth of who we are. So with that, I will open it up to any devotees who would like to share maybe something about this verse or something that has inspired them about Srila Prabhupada, or maybe anything in relation to Srila Prabhupada's disappearance. It would be wonderful to hear. And thank you, and Hare Krishna. There's no one here in the temple, so I mean there are a few devotees. There's people here in the temple, but there's no one in the class. So if anyone would like to actually from the online. Maybe just something about Srila Prabhupada that has inspired you in your Krishna consciousness as a bit of an offering to Srila Prabhupada on this disappearance day. No?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
I just want to say that a long time back we watched video at the temple about Srila Prabhupada ji, and I was really impressed when he said, just chant. And, whatever you want to do, you do, but just chant. Then once we start chanting, other things, they all disappeared, all the anarthas. That's what I see that. So I remember that about just chant. If I'm confused or something, just chant. That's what I wanted to say. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Yes, the simplicity is wonderful. Just chant. Krishna consciousness is simple for the simple and complex for the complex. Just chant. I think all of us here can know that by the process of chanting, We have had so many changes in our life. It cannot be explained. Dronacharya Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Shashi Shekhar Prabhu. Thank you for speaking so nicely about Srila Prabhupada. It's a perfect verse, like you said, for today. Sometimes these things just align out of Krishna's divine arrangement so that we can glorify his pure devotee. I've been reflecting as we've been coming up on Srila Prabhupada's disappearance day, and this class made me think even more. So this, and you alluded to it with regards to Srila Prabhupada's, the movement, the ISKCON movement, and the future of it. And one of the challenges is that to try to understand what Srila Prabhupada would do in 2023. He left this world in 1977, at a time when the movement was considerably different. It was an ashram movement primarily, at least in the West. And now it's more congregational based movement, with some elements of ashram life there. And there's so many other changes, even societal changes, technology, etc. And there are a lot of attempts, as you mentioned, to try to understand, what would Srila Prabhupada do? And even ISKCON from 1965 to when he left this world in 1977 was quite different. So we can see that Srila Prabhupada was also very innovative. And he wasn't just like stuck in a period of time and not willing to adapt, not willing to change, but also keep the core principles the same. So as I was reflecting upon this, I was thinking that in order to even get to that point, we should first ask ourselves, are we following the basic principles that Srila Prabhupada lays out continuously throughout his purports and his teachings? Because those we know wouldn't change. Following the 4 regulative principles, chanting 16 rounds, taking Krishna Prasadam, associating in favorable ways with devotees. Then with our chanting offenseless chanting. Are we attempting to chant in a way that's offenseless and on the level of moving toward purity in our chanting and our relationship with Krishna, becoming free from offenses, becoming free from aparad. And then also, our pride and our false ego. Are we aware, and are we continually working toward trying to purify our existence by being aware of these anarthas within our lives? And I think the importance of that is that when we do this, is that we allow ourselves to open our hearts to be used by Krishna and the spiritual master, who are always present, who are ever present. But it has to be on the level of Krishna consciousness. It can't be on the level of materialism. And so attempts to try to understand this, I think, are very important and noble, but they have to be on the level of Krishna consciousness. It can't be on the level of scholarship. It can't be on the level of materialism or pseudo spirituality or making compromises. It has to be on the level of compassion and pure Krishna consciousness. Anyway, these are just some of my thoughts with this important day and reflecting on Srila Prabhupada's life and mission. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Dronacharya Prabhu. That was I love that, what you're saying. And what I hear is like, we should always start with ourselves and our own practice and in the simple, unquestionable directions that Srila Prabhupada gave us, and always be trying to elevate our own practice of following the basics. And in one sense, it's simple, but it's not always that easy. And it's easy to criticize others or criticize a larger movement or the attempts of others who are out there actually trying to do something. And you yourself certainly are a great example of a devotee who is taking the leadership position in the face of many possible criticisms, or, everyone can say whatever they want to say, and also, the accolades as well, but to take the risk of being a leader. And so I certainly see that, and I thank you for that, and trying to bring the movement forward. And at the same time, we juggle that with trying to, really starting with the essence of being Krishna conscious ourselves, and how can we become more in line with Srila Prabhupada's teaching. And from there, we can then become that vessel, and we can be used. The heart opens up. I really heard that, like opening up the heart and allowing for our true purpose to be kind of manifested through the purifications. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Anyone else would like to say something? Any of the exalted devotees in attendance?
I am not exalted, but I will say something. Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
I think Dronacharya had said this before, and it kind of always, stuck with me is none of this movement was ever about Srila Prabhupada. It was always about him spreading Krishna consciousness. So, like, if you went and you took a survey of 100 people, I bet 95% of them would know what the Krishna consciousness movement is. Have you ever heard of the Hare Krishna movement? Yes. You know what I mean? Whether it be through movies or seeing people distributing books, whatnot. But I bet if you asked those same 100 people who Srila Prabhupada was, no one would be able to answer that. And I think that was his mission. It was about spreading Krishna consciousness. It was letting people know who Krishna was. It was never about him. It was never about his ego. And I think that's something to piggyback off of Dronacharya Prabhu is that something that we should focus on, that we should try to mimic. It's not about us. It's not about, well, I chanted 16 rounds today. I went out and did this. I went out and did that. No, it's about spreading Krishna consciousness. It's about serving Krishna. And at least for me, that's something that, I always try to think about. That it's not me centric. It's Krishna centric. You know what I mean? Everything I do today it's not about me. It's about serving the devotees or serving Krishna or just being a better example to people. And I think that's what Srila Prabhupada did for a lot of us. I know I've changed a lot in the last, 3.5 years or so, and hope to continue to change for the better because of that kind of leadership and example he set. So, thank you for letting me share that. I hope that made any sort of sense. And I wasn't just rambling. So thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Yes, we strive for being, Srila Prabhupada's example of his selfless, non-prideful approach. He didn't ever took credit. He always gave credit where credit was due with his guru. He was always speaking. He's on the order of his guru. And then, of course, all glories go to Krishna and the previous acharyas. So in that way, we can gain the mercy of the previous acharyas. So, okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you very much for nice class. But I always think about Prabhupada. At his age, 2 heart attacks, he was in the ship and he wanted to do the mission, what his Guru Maharaj said. So how many of us doing our Guru Maharaj saying things, one thing, and then we always think that, oh yeah, we are old and we're not able to do, oh no, I cannot do this, I cannot. But he didn't say anything like that. He just did for the mission, he did it. And because of him, we're all in these temples and we're all enjoying, and we're all having all the kirtans and everything because of him only.
Yes.
So that is one thing I always think about him. I always tell everybody about him only, about Bhagavad Gita if I show. I show his picture at the back of the book, and I tell people that, you know what? Never late, but he did it at the age of 70. He came here, unknown country. Can we do that? No, nobody can do that. So that is the only thing I feel all the time. I pray for him all the time. And if anybody says, no, you are old and no, you are not feeling well. Now I am not feeling well today. I have some other problems and body pain, everything. So I cannot come, but I'm thinking of him. And I said, I am feeling like this, but with 2 heart attacks, he went in the ship. So that is the one thing I always admire, and I always pray him. And he wrote this many books we are reading now. We are enjoying it. Not only kirtan and books and everything, and how many books he wrote.
Right.
Can we write one book concentrating in everything? I don't think so. I don't know. I cannot do. If anybody can do that. So that is the one thing I always pray him, and that his willpower and he wanted to do it, the mission, he did it. And with that, how many people in the world we are enjoying this? Wherever, whichever country you go, you can go to Krishna temple, have free prasadam, and you can stay for a while. And if you are a life member, you can stay any temple, anywhere in the world. I tasted 1 or 2 temples and I had a life membership. I did. I saw that. I experienced it. That is one thing I always admire. That's up to Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mother Vinjavali. That's such a great meditation. I think about this. Yes, we're the benefactors of Srila Prabhupada's mercy in so many ways, spiritually and materially. And it's how many meals have we get to take?
Yeah, how many people are enjoying?
Around the world, just wonderful prasadam. I think of this so many times in the temple. I think, a 70-year-old Indian man came to the United States in 1960s, and now I'm sitting here, stuffing my face with prasadam thanks to him. A tree
stands just on the outside, and it gives you nice fruits. And tree won't enjoy any fruit, but we enjoy the fruit.
Yes.
See, that is what he did it. It's very, very much Krishna. Thanks to Krishna and thanks to Prabhupada giving us such a wonderful master for us.
Yes.
That's all my thank you very much.
Krishna. Thank you.
I'm so sad I am not able to come because I want to give my sickness to everybody.
Okay.
So I'm staying and praying everything I can see from here. That's all.
Okay. We'll miss you.
Yeah, I miss everything. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
I just wanted to thank to Prabhupada that he gave us all the instruction and the direction.
Yeah.
If we follow them, then we are supposed to go back to Krishna. Yeah. And even though I born in Hindu family, and my mom used to do kirtan when I was little, very small. From that beginning, we used to do Krishna's Satanam, 108 names every evening.
Ashtotaram.
Ashtatara Satanam. And kirtan with my mom always anywhere we go, in the dark or something in the night, she always said chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. She said this kind of thing all the time. Yeah, she used to say to me this. And but still we don't know so many things like before
Yeah.
coming to Prabhupada, because how to connect like 24/7 we are doing, like always thinking about Krishna. We didn't do that before, before coming to ISKCON. So I'm really thankful to Prabhupada, and he gave us everything. He gave us our guru, all the like rules and regulation, like keeping me connected to Krishna.
Association of
thanks.
devotees.
Yeah, association of devotee and temples and everything, And I can even imagine, like, even if when I was in Bangladesh, I was thinking like because we have relatives and everything. But when we came to US, there was no one, so that was little easier because no one was here. So we always go to temple, and I get the connection with devotees. So all because of him, because he created everything here in US. Other than how can we like get everything like temples and here?
Yeah, we are enjoying the fruit.
Yeah. So I want to I always think about that. Like without Prabhupada, we couldn't we are not supposed to get in this Western country anything like that. Ratha Yatra and everything here.
Yes.
That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you very much, Prabhu, for the nice class.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Okay. Pancha Kopa Yascha Kripa Sindhu Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo
Hare
Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Jai.
Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Jai.
Hare